Hello and good morning. It's our Friday show. Super excited today. I'm here with Tina and getting ready for ASD. I flew in last night, so I'm at my mom's house. Good morning, Tina. How's your Friday?
Oh, good morning. Well, it's better because it's not crazy windy here today. And as
Yes.
you know, you're here in the same state with me, but it is chilly out this morning.
I can't, the light, I feel like I have a whoo over
Like
my
you're
head.
angelic.
I don't know. It feels, or I have the lights going off in my head. I don't know, but
No, it just
it
looks
is
like
what
you
it
got
is.
light behind you. Well, welcome to Vegas. I hope you had a
Yes.
nice flight.
It was surprisingly not bumpy with all the storms going on. I expected a rough go, and it was one of the easier coming down.
Yeah,
Usually it's
because sometimes just coming into Vegas, even on a non-windy day, you can get a lot of turbulence as
mhm.
you get close to our airport. I don't know the reason, but that is the way
Well,
it
it's because
is.
we're a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Vegas is all a bowl. There's mountains all around, and the wind comes in and
Mm-hmm.
just swirls.
So for those of you that it's your first time flying here to Vegas, if you're flying in this evening, you can know that and know to pack with some t-shirt long sleeves because most of you are coming from places that are colder than Vegas. But how would you say it is for you here, the chill factor? Because you're a bit chillier in Washington right now.
We always hover maybe 5 to 10 degrees cooler than you, but we have the wet where you have the dry and the wind. So, what makes your body colder, the wet or the wind? I hate the wind,
I
so
hate
I'll
the
take the
wind,
wet.
and it has been dreadfully windy here. And tomorrow's supposed to be a miserable day. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or not, but tomorrow's supposed to be really, really crappy. And the reason why I say this is because the focus of this show is about coming to ASD in Las Vegas. So if you're not
Yes.
here yet, I just want you to know what the weather has been like. It's been very cold, windy. We've even had a couple of days of little flurry snow. And when I say that, it's not sticking. It's not like we have snow here. It's just that it's cold enough that we've had flurries falling and so just come prepared knowing that. And again, if people are from Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, don't dress like you're at home. It won't be, that cold to you.
I
But
did
it
bring
is cold
my
for us.
Yeah, I did bring my larger jacket, but for ASD, I'm going to be wearing something like this, where I have
Yeah,
a little something that I can put on. Because here's the thing, like it may be cold outside, but inside it's going to be warm because everybody here that they crank the heat up, and that's okay. Just be prepared for it. And what else? My daughter was asking, oh, about sunglasses because it's bright and whatnot. And I said, well, I drive 10 minutes down to the convention and then we're inside and I don't need sunglasses. So I'm trying not to pack things that I really don't need
right.
in a general sense. So today's show, yes, is all about ASD, but also just going to conferences in general. So a lot of things we're going to be talking about is finding vendors on ASD, but also like what do you do when you go to a conference. So I wanted to start off with some of the things that I packed for those that are like maybe packing up today. I'm here a couple days early so I can spend time with my mom, and we're going to breakfast at 9, so the show has to end at 8:45 today. All right. 8:45. I forgot my business cards. I got all the way home, got my bag into the car, and went, shoot, they're at the office. So last minute, and you can do this if you're at a hotel, I went through and I wrote out my business name, my email, and a brief blurb of I specialize selling bundles on Amazon. That way, if I run into vendors that are like, oh, we don't do direct Amazon sales, then I can be like, no, 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 I do bundles. And sometimes you can get accounts that way if you promise not to sell directly the products on Amazon, because a lot of people have those contracts in place with different vendors. So anyhow, I wrote out those three things and then I made it to the other side of the page, and I just did an 8.5 by 11 page. With that, I think I got, I don't know, whatever, 8 and 8, maybe 16 of those blurbs, and then I got to cut them out, and then I will bring those so that I can easily hand vendors my information, because I have 500 business cards at work.
Mhm. Look,
And
I live here and I've driven to ASD and left my cards right here at home.
yeah,
And it has never stopped me from being able to make purchases. You don't have to have a business card. Is it nice to? Do they ask for it? Yes. But you can survive if you don't have a business card. So don't sweat it.
yes, absolutely. Uh, The other thing that I forgot, and this is for you and I, is Tina and we have like a PayPal card, and I went through and I got the PayPal card and I forgot it. But all of the business expenses, keep track of that, keep your receipts, pay with your business card. When I was at the airport, I paid for parking with my business card because I'm in a business trip. So all my meals, coffee, I don't know, that's about all we get is coffee. This,
Yeah, we buy coffee
yeah.
because I get tired. Look, I'm an old lady.
Dunkin'
I
Donuts.
wear out. I need that afternoon
Yeah.
caffeine.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely helps the caffeine kicking you around. The other thing is I will go to the grocery store and get some take and go meals. Yeah, drinks. Yeah, coffee and drinks.
Yes, we do have
Um,
drinks at the end of the day. That's always
yes.
nice to unwind.
And those are going to be a business expense too.
Yes. Nate, I wonder if you and Elizabeth are coming. I see you in the chat. And Nick, I
I
see you as
better.
well. And I responded to you this morning, Nick, that yes, we will be meeting up.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go to the grocery store and get some take and go foods. And you need to message me if you want me to pick you up anything so I can throw them in my bag. Let me know. But
Yeah,
take and go
and I will bring
salads.
store-bought salads or sandwiches. Food at
Mhm.
ASD is very expensive, um, because they know that they have the captive audience and you have to buy it from them. Although they have really upped their game on the food that they offer at ASD, if for those who haven't been to the building there, they have a couple different food courts in the two big main buildings. So it's kind of like, back in the day when everyone used to go to the mall and you go to the food court and they have those, and they have added outside food trucks. So I think that that's really cool. The food truck food is always pretty good. So, be prepared for an expensive lunch.
Yeah, if you want to eat there, it's expensive and you have to wait in line. And I like to just go sit down. And Tina and we like to grab our catalogs and start diving in. So if you see us, we'll be eating lunch around
Always
lunchtime
by the
probably.
the South Hall. We're always in the food court by the South Hall because that's where we do most of our shopping is over there. Um, so you will generally find us, in the food court area around lunchtime, and we will make sure that we post it on the main Facebook group. Where we're going to be at, or hey, we're headed to lunch. We're pretty good about communicating that while we're there at the show.
Definitely. Yeah. So first step at the show is go get my badge, which I brought my paperwork, printed that out. So we'll
Yes,
go get
print
our,
out your paperwork for your badge.
yes. So go get
Have
our
your photo
badge
ID.
and then make your plan. We have certain vendors. We've already kind of talked out which vendors we want to go see first because people will sell out. And Saturday is actually early.
Preview
Some
day.
will allow early access on Saturday. And so by Sunday they could be sold out, which you know what? I'm not going to sit here and sweat it. So whatever. For lunchtime, we will be going over things and talking with everybody. We'll get a big table. We will be in the line site of the Dunkin' Donuts coffee stand. So that's our plan.
Yes, because that is our next stop after lunch is Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yes. We'll be getting Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and then in the afternoon we will go from there. And then on the probably the last day or maybe the end of a day, 2 or 3, we'll go to the cash and carry section, which means you have to have cash. So if you want any trinkets, treasures, things to bring home to your staff, like I'll go get my packers something, a keychain, I don't know, whatever, a little thing. I usually get my mom something too. You have to bring cash that day. So I got to remember to get some cash out for
Yeah,
that.
the cash and carry floor is mostly jewelries and keychains, like Lucy said, little tchotchkes as we call them.
Yep.
Then on the final day, and you can if those of you that feel so inclined, I've never done this. I've never had a desire to, but the booths will sell you their entire booth because they don't want to pack up and box up the things they brought to the show to take back home with them. It's expensive to get it here. So if you want to buy their entire booth, but you're usually getting one, and one of things because they only bring one to show, you will be in charge of picking up those boxes and shipping them back home or loading them up and driving them somewhere. So I've never been interested in doing that, but a lot of people do, especially swap meet sellers, people like that. You can buy an entire trade show booth for less than what the items cost. So I mean, it is a good deal if you're inclined to do that.
Yes, but you are responsible 9 times out of 10 for packing and or shipping it. So be
Mhm.
prepared. Don't think they're gonna pack it and ship it for you. I saw a couple people that were like, "Wait a minute, what? I gotta pack it? I'm leaving." Well, you should have read the fine print. Some of them will sell some of the items in there, so I
Mhm.
usually kind of keep an eye out for that if there's anything personally I want. Last time I brought the kids home, my kids are very much into Japanese anime, all things Asian are at our house, which I love. I mean, I love all the food and everything. Anyhow, I got little rice bowls with chopstick sets, and so
Yeah,
now
those
they
were
each
beautiful. There was a booth that had
great.
beautiful, ramen bowls, rice bowls, and they, were letting us buy things out of their booth on the last day, especially the smaller booths, and maybe they didn't sell their entire booth, they will just start selling stuff right from their booth, so that's kinda nice if it's just something you want to pack up and take home.
One year I got some nice large serving dishes that are beautiful. I love them in my home, and they were kind of a pain in the butt to pack, but you can
Mhm.
always go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get a large box, and use that as a second bag on the airplanes. Look up your airline's information. Same with sourcing. I've sometimes come out here and sourced, and then it's like, okay, I need to take a second bag home, and Southwest allows you 2 bags. So I can go to Home Depot, get one large box, pack it full of whatever, and then bring it back. Like if we went to Burlington and found a great bra sale or something that would make sense to pack home. I mean, not
Yeah,
gonna.
and they have a FedEx
Mm,
at ASD. There is actually a FedEx there, um,
it's true.
right on the, site, so that's kind of handy as well.
Yep. Yep. And they do have, if you are needing wheelchairs and or other accommodations, they do have that as well, but I'm sure you already looked into that if that is something you need. I don't need it this year. I'm so excited I can walk.
Yes, last year Lucy had a broke foot, and I told her that we were gonna rent one of those electric scooters and ride around the show on electric scooters because you get so tired of walking, your feet hurt, and
Yes. Yes. And they used to have, back in the day, they used to have little massage people that would set up and do like 10, 20-minute foot rubs. I'm hoping those are back. They went away with COVID, and I really want those people to come back. But this is a great time. I am going to be looking for fresh meat, fresh blood. I want to establish a few new vendors. I'm trying to make some goals in my head. I don't want to make too lofty of a goals because I don't want it to be necessarily like I have to do this at this show, but I do want to find some new vendors that have some variety of items that I can use for different bundles. And then I also want to keep my eye out for private label opportunities. There will be private label opportunities. And sometimes I pass a booth and I'm like, no, I don't need that. And then I get thinking at home and I'm like, wait a minute. If I did, we'll say there's going to be a lot of booths that have just general junk. It reminds me of like the list on Alibaba. It's a shower curtain liner, it's a bathtub soap hand pump, and you're going, okay, these are like Dollar Tree soap hand pumps, they're teal or something, not very, there's no name brand, there's no licensings, there's no nothing to them. And then I get home and I'm like, wait a minute, if I did like the Little Mermaid's coming out in the end of May, and I did a mermaid themed bath redo geared towards the new movie. Now a teal hand soap pump that cost 80 cents or whatnot
starts
is
sounding
starting to,
good.
yeah, start sounding good. So I've got to be more open-minded and not close-minded. But there's definitely some trends that I want to pick up on, and some trends I don't. Like Ant-Man, I heard failed epically. I have not heard good things about, and I haven't watched either. What is it, the new Black Panther? I haven't heard very good reviews about the Black Panther or the Ant-Man. um, but Avatar did very well in the movies, and I could see that being good ideas. So just kind of paying attention to what's hot and what's not. What
And
is
bring
that?
a pen. A
Oh,
pen
yeah,
is
yeah,
pink. It's a pink scented gel pen for the girl that I am. So
I'm
bring
gonna
a
steal that.
pen. Yeah, Lucy likes to steal my pens. So bring a pen, Because one trick that I do that helps me is when I grab the vendor's cards, because they also have cards. Sometimes I'm not buying anything from them, but like Lucy mentioned, they maybe had things like the teal blank soap pump, or they had items. I think, maybe I could use some of these items later. I don't have a plan for it now. Or maybe they had stuff that I loved, but I wasn't sure about spending money on it. I wanted to research it more, whatever the reason is that you like the booth. When you get their card, a lot of times their card, the name of their company, sounds nothing like the things that they sell. And I promise you, when you get home or when you get back to your hotel room and you have a stack of these cards, you are not going to remember what that booth sold or why you grabbed their card. You're going to forget. So, pen, on the back of the card, I jot a little note to myself. Had dollar low items that are great for bundles, had blingy rhinestone purses that were Disney, something. And I write myself a note on the back of that card, and that comes in super handy later, because some of these companies do not have websites. So you generally will have to email them and tell them you would like a, online catalog or some type of information. Oh, and another thing, then I like to note, especially if it's not on the card, where are they located? Because I live in the West Coast. And when you have to pay for shipping, you want to take into consideration where you live in the US in comparison to where they are shipping from. Now, some of these companies may have a home base in New York, but they tell you that they have distribution centers in both California and New York. So, there are these things to find out when you're talking to these vendors. Where are they located? What is their minimum opening order? So, minimum opening orders make a big difference. Does this booth offer $100 minimum opening order? And does this vendor, 2000 is their minimum opening order? Do they have enough for you to spend 2000? Is $2,000 out of your budget range? These are the things that we need to find out. Now, let's say $2,000 is out of your budget range, but you really, really like that booth. Take the card, write that down, because look, there's going to come a time where $2,000 is okay with you to make a minimum opening order with the company. So still always grab those cards and put your notes on them.
I also like to ask, can we use your stock photos?
Mm-hmm.
And do you have, like, when they share the information, is there any regulation on selling on e-commerce that I need to know about? And is the barcodes available on their purchase sheet? So then that way we could search them either through Keepa or straight up on Amazon. So all good things.
And Reno's tip I had to take a picture of their business cards because he always loses them. That's great advice as well. And if you wrote a note on that business card, you could take a picture of your note too. I'm big about notes on the business cards. I learned that a long time ago.
Now, what Tina and I do is, because we're partners and we split the work, she'll take half the business cards, I'll take half the business cards, so we don't double up, and it saves the vendors half the cards
Yeah.
anyways. And then we come home. I come back to my mother's, and we have a sheet, a shared Google sheet, and we will put
Plug
in
in. Yeah, we
plug
plug
in
in
that vendor
the name
stuff.
of the company off the front of the business card, their phone number, whatever that rep's name is on that card who you're dealing with. And then in that note column, because back to my notes again, on the back of that card, I put what they had that I liked. And then I can finally check that card because I don't want a bajillion business cards on my desk, in my desk drawer, because I'm not going to rummage through them later on. So I do like the access of the Google Sheet, especially going back to Lucy's teal blue mermaid soap dispenser themed bathroom. Once she's like maybe putting something like that together, she'll be able to say, hey, let me go to that Google sheet and see if there were any vendors that sold, bathroom accessories. And then now you have created yourself a nice wholesale sheet of vendors and have a quick note as to what types of items that they sold.
Yes, absolutely. I go to that sheet all the time.
Oh,
And we have two columns. We have a column that designates for each of us. So if you're just doing it by yourself, where it states whether I've applied for a wholesale count, I've been approved for a wholesale count, or I was denied for a wholesale count. So the
Mhm.
ones that I get denied for, I try to write down, why did I get denied? Is it because they don't sell to Amazon sellers? Is it because the MOQ was too high? What was the reasoning going on? Because you may want to circle back and things change. And I like to apply for more, even if I'm not going to really use them, because we noticed with COVID and just time and changing, there's been many, many vendors that just put a lid on it, on how many vendors they will accept. Burt's Bees. I've talked to them at several conferences, and Burt's Bees has said they are at their limit for Amazon sellers, but you can be on their waiting list. Now, I've been on their waiting list. I think that's just a line they've told me. But keep those in mind, because if it's a vendor you're really thinking about, or you just don't want to have that no answer later on, if you don't give a hoot, then don't worry about it. But if I'm on the fence, I just go ahead and apply. Adva says there is apps that take pictures of your business cards. Yep. That is a good tip too. Some people just do that. I know Bearded Picker, he's got the app that does all the business cards there. I don't know. I like the sheet if I had to pick, because my phone, it just gets cluttered with things. Like I have, I think, 8,000 pictures on my phone.
And then I forget what apps I have sometimes. Like sometimes when I'm
Mhm.
cleaning up my phone and I see an app, I'm like, oh, why did I download that? What's this for? I forget about apps a lot of times if they're not ones I use frequently.
Yep, yep. So, I mean, you could do either way. Whatever works for you. It's
That's right. No
totally
right
up
or
to
wrong way. Whatever works
you.
for you is the right way.
The other thing we do is we will take a picture of what we are thinking of behind the booth with the booth name. So I will
Mhm.
hold up the item with the booth name in the background
Yeah.
and take a picture of that. So that way we can say, oh, yes, they really don't have a problem with taking pictures. Video is not allowed, but Tina and I will be videoing. So we will show you some video of AST.
Yeah, I've
We just
always
can't get
videoed in there. Stop me. Try and stop me. The thing is for those of you that are not going to be at ASD, that are going to look out for me to hop on live, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, and I'm making videos, you will probably not be able to hear a word I say. I have learned that in the past when I have recorded on the showroom floor, the background noise is just too loud. There are too many people talking and walking and in your way. So it is going to look sloppy. I will talk anyway, and you'll catch whatever words you catch because it muffles it.
Yep. Yep. So we will try to bring you, whatever we can, and keep the brain waves moving. We run into a lot of places that will do custom made stickers, custom made magnets, custom made
Lip balm,
lip
candles.
balm, lotions,
Mhm.
candles, food products, which
Yeah. And the thing with food products, so there are some food products that will not sell to you if you do not have a warehouse to ship to. There are food products that will refuse to ship to residences. So, we've encountered that. So, like for Lucy, she has a warehouse, so she can buy from those vendors. I still work from home, and pallets are shipped to my home address in my garage. So, keep that in mind. One thing I'm going to do this year that I have never done before, because I've been really on the hunt for other shows because everybody goes to ASD. And I know in our bundle group, as I have found different trade shows or platforms out there, I've been sharing those shows with our bundle group because, we're geared around getting things wholesale for bundles. And I have found out of a couple of different shows from simply asking some of my current vendors when they say to me, "Oh, are you coming to the, blah 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 show?" "Oh, I've never even heard of that show." I mean, there are food shows out there. There are surf expos out there. There are beauty shows out there. There are so many other shows that are more niched down. So, if there is a vendor that you regularly deal with, or you find a vendor that you really like, you can ask them, "Hey, what other trade shows do you attend?" And then that can open up opportunity to finding different wholesalers that don't come to ASD, because there's a certain type of wholesaler or vendor that goes to ASD. Um, and there are other types of vendors that do not. So that is something I'm going to try out this year, and I'll let you know how it goes.
I started my first conference that I went to was the Seattle Gift Show, and I did that by searching my area for conferences. You know, what conferences are in my area, what trade shows are in my area, and you'd be surprised at which ones you're going to make the weirdest. You know, you go in with one expectation, you get a whole bunch of different things going
Yeah.
on. But there are definitely different opportunities out there, and there is probably something for everyone within a particular distance in mind. I know there's a big trade show down in Atlanta, Georgia. I've never had the desire to go out that far, but there's just been too many closer to me that I wouldn't need to go out there. But I know a lot of the vendors that we run into do both the ASD in Vegas, and then they do the other one in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're over in that area, that might be one that you want to go to.
Bring a bag. One on wheels is always better because you're going to
Right.
get tired carrying around the free little bags that they give you. And it can get quite heavy if you are grabbing catalogs and things. If you have no interest in getting catalogs, then come as you are.
Yes, it is like I take from my purse, I'm going to grab my ID and debit cards and my work pay cards, cash, chapstick, because oh my God, it's so dry out here. I gotta have chapstick
I wear
all day long.
chapstick all the time. Am I sharing
Yeah,
my screen?
you are. Chapstick,
Okay.
lotion, cards, my phone. If you have a battery charger for your phone that you need, bring that. But everything goes into my wheelie bag because if I wear my purse, my back is going to kill me by 10 o'clock. So,
Yeah.
not going to do that.
So when you get to ASD, they'll hand you a big booklet, and I don't want to say big, but I mean lots of pages. And it will have the vendors listed on those pages and where they are at. So here I am on the ASD website, and under this About section, you can come down here to Vendor Directory. So for those that can't attend, this is where you will find the vendors that will be at ASD. And I've done videos about how to sort through the vendors. And see, like I told you, see this 29 tonight. What do they sell? Bed sheets? I don't know. And then you go there and it's vape pens. I mean, so that's why I say sometimes these names don't mean anything. But this is where they are located. So you'll get a booklet when you're at ASD, and you're going to see all these different vendors that are in the book. So if there's one that you know of that you're trying to find, they give you their booth number.
Mhm.
The way to decipher this is booth N 21518 is the N means North Hall. And so when you're at ASD, there's going to be big buildings and you're going to know you're entering the North Hall, the South Hall. And so this is the number of their booth. There will be big banners on each row that tell you, like, 20,000 through, 21,520. So you know that this booth is going to be in the North Hall on that row where you see the big flag. Also, these numbers, this 21518, will be on the floor in front of the booth if you can see it, because a lot of times people are walking right over that number. C is for Central Hall. W is West Hall, North. And then when there's S's, that's the South Hall. So this lets you know how to find your vendor. And I think that that's helpful because it gets a bit overwhelming trying to decipher that and figure out where they are. Then also, you see over here to the side, open to selling to e-commerce Amazon sellers. Here, at least you know who you can go to right away. Here's private labelers, the companies that will do private labeling. So you can also click on these and try to decipher through here. So that will pull up the companies that are open to Amazon sellers. So that is my little tidbit of sharing the website with you.
I got one thing and then we'll address what to wear. Uh, with the different halls, you are going to go outside of the building and get on the loop, which is the Tesla cars that drive you around to the North Hall, the West Hall, the South Hall. You go up to the drivers. They're super friendly. You say which hall you want to go into, put your bag in the bag, and they will go under the tunnels and through whatever. But they also will go over to What's the new hotel that opened up that they said you can go over for
It's the one
food?
right across the street, and I just can't remember.
World, World
World,
something?
yeah, something like that.
Okay, so there's a new spot open up over the other side. Oh, it's on that map if you zoom in.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is up there in the
Resorts
upper
World.
left. What is it?
Resorts World Station.
Resorts.
So
Okay.
it's Resorts World Station is where they pick you up. So you see this is the whole loop. It's an underground loop. And here is the Las Vegas Convention Center right here. These little cars, they're Teslas. This is one of them right here. It's getting ready to go underground in this photo. These are free. I think you have to pay at Resorts World, but it's like $2. But once you're at the convention center, going to each of the halls, like when you want to jump on the car and have it drive you to another hall, it is free to use. And it's really, really cool looking. This is what it looks like, this tunnel. And when you're going through here, there's lights that don't really show up in this photo, but you feel like you're driving through like a stormtrooper in Star Wars. It's really pretty cool. So yep, that's it.
Yes, so they have recommended that if you want to kind of get away for lunch, there's more options over at Resorts World, but it's free to go there, but $2 to come back, something like that. So have a little bit of cash in hand. I assume they take card, but always be prepared to have a couple dollars when you're in Vegas for tipping, or I don't know, whatever you need to get for a couple dollars. All right, what do you wear? What do you wear? What do you wear? Really, you can wear anything. This is going to be a personal choice. I have seen people go in literally tennis shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt that has, there's been some that have obnoxious sayings on them that I'm like, why would you wear that? My take on it is I am trying to be a professional. This is business to me. This is my life. I am a professional business owner, and I want to be taken as such. It is harder as a woman in business to get the same respect as a man. Tina and I have literally had sales reps say, hold on a minute, and literally like jump to try and get over to some guy passing by to make sure they got their business and left us hanging. And this has happened multiple times because we're women and that's how things are. It's not fair. So what do? We walk away from those types of people, and I'm not going to give them my attention. There are a lot of vendors from different areas around the world who they just don't value women, as women are more of a secondary class, and you'll see that. There is a lot of Jewish vendors, a lot of East Coast, a lot of Jewish vendors. So you're going to see a lot of people in yarmulkes and things like that with the traditional beards and whatnot. But for me and Tina, we usually dress a little bit more business professional, not like suits and ties or anything like that, but I'm wearing a nice top with black slacks and a little cardigan, and I have my rolly cart with my my business card or my information and my pencils, and I'm there to do business. I am not there to. There are some ladies who wear some clothing that makes me think that maybe they're working after hours. I don't know, and that's their business, not mine, and that's not how I want to be taken. So I'm not going to be wearing anything that would be, I've seen some ladies with some tops fairly low, and I'm going, well, what kind of business are we in? If that's what you like to wear, then go for it. I could care less what everybody else's wears. You will see everything. You will see from one end of the spectrum all the way. You will see Walmart fabulous all the way to streetwear and everything in between there. When it comes down to it, if you are walking up to another vendor and the vendors will sometimes wear suits and ties. They want to be taken professionally too, but I've seen vendors in shorts and a t-shirt as well. So if you are walking up to somebody in a suit and a tie, what is going to play into your confidence? What is going to make you feel the best speaking to him like that? Like when I go into a job interview, I want to feel amazing. I want to wear my best. I want to look good. I want to feel confident. And, that's not in a shorts and t-shirts for me. It's hard for me to be very confident when I am dressed like that. So hope that answers your question. Nobody's, that don't like not come because you don't have something to wear. But if you are kind of on the cusp of thinking, should I go more business or more casual? What makes you
I
feel more
say be
confident?
comfortable. I wear jeans and I wear slacks. Um, but be comfortable, you know? So I'll wear jeans and like a nice shirt. Sometimes I wear, you know, more of a slacks with just, you know, a top. I don't get too fancy. I look presentable, you know, like I would if I'm just going, you know, out and about. I'm not going to wear sweatpants. You know, I don't like to be that casual. And I definitely wear really comfortable shoes because you're on your feet and you're walking a lot. So for the girls out there that think you want to be cute and wear your cute shoes, I get you, but wear comfortable shoes because at the end of the day, your feet are just hurting.
Yeah, shoes is the probably the number one, especially ladies, because well, men too. I've had my son be in business shoes, and by
Shoes
the end
and
of the
that are
day, he's like,
uncomfortable,
"Oh
yeah,
my
wear
god."
comfy shoes, yeah.
Yeah, shoes are probably the more important thing.
No one is dressing real fancy, you know, there are going to be, like Lucy said, some of the vendors themselves in a suit, but, like, people like us that are attending, I've never seen anyone, decked out and, you know, just uber professional, it's not like that. Be comfortable, please be comfortable.
Yes. Yes. And Nate says, what time are we meeting up? We are going to wander over after our feet are done on Sunday. I put 4 p.m. and it's the International Bar over at the West Gate.
Westgate, yeah, and sometimes we're there at
Westgate.
3, even though we said 4 because we realized we're tired already.
But that's because Tina and I are like, we can go sit down and literally talk for an hour with a glass of wine and go through our notes and put our ideas together
Yeah.
and feel free to walk up. Like, we don't care if you come over early, but
Yeah, if you see
we
us ever in the lunch area, I know we've had people come up and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I recognize you." Don't, come over. You're a friend.
yeah,
Say,
yeah,
"Hey." Do not feel weird. It's okay.
yeah. And just like Wave, we might have our minds together doing something, but just come over, please, 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 because
And
we're
Nate
here
can
to
speak for that.
network.
I think Nate is the only one here in the chat that's actually, met with us in person many a times.
Yeah, yeah, I love Nate and his wife, unless if that's his wife there. I
Oh,
never
yeah,
knew
unless
who's
it's
behind
Elizabeth, it
because
probably be
they
that
only
because
have one account.
Elizabeth is a comedian, I swear to God.
She cracks me up. Yes, and if you see us walking the floors or anything like that, come on up and say hi. We will be working though, like when we are on the floor, we are working, and while we love you all, we are working, and so keep that in mind. We don't care if you work with us, but we are definitely putting some ground hours in. Um, the only thing that's been weird is like we've had people that stalk us, and it's not been anybody from the group, but we've been literally like scanning, and then all of a sudden we have people that are following us, seeing what we scan, and then they're ordering the same stuff that we are, and we're like, we use it for bundles, so I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't profitable by itself,
Yeah.
so good luck with that.
But there's other groups that meet up from other Facebook and YouTube groups, and they go out and they're scanning. You'll see them. They've paid to be there. Like we're just hanging out. Like we've no, I've never even considered like charging people to meet up with us. That just sounds
No.
crazy to me. But maybe they're offering some good learning and education, hands-on stuff. So um, we've kind of eyeballed them when we are just being next to them. Like, what are they doing? It's kind of curious. But yeah, there's going to be lots of different vendors. I'm super excited. We go to it's North. Oh, Elizabeth just messaged me.
Me
Nate is
too.
chit chatting. Oh, yay! Good, good, good. Um, we go to it's the North Hall, right? Where we're at the
Yeah,
Dunkin'
I go
Donuts.
to the North Hall a lot just because there's a lot of the vendors there that have bundle supplies, but I also really like walking through the, is it called Source Direct? The area where you have
Mm,
out of the country vendors?
yes.
It's not as big as it used to be before COVID. Less and less of them had been coming over since things had opened back up. I am hoping now with the world, you know, back to pretty much normal, I would say these days, right? I'm hoping that there's a lot more of those vendors like there used to be because it's not just the manufacturers from China that come. You have, you know, other Asian countries as well, like Korea and those that are present, Taiwan, but you also have countries like Turkey that are there. Um, Where else? Egypt. I'm trying
Oh,
blanks in my mind. It's not just all the Chinese manufacturers, and I'm really interested in finding manufacturers and companies from Mexico. So
I
I
was
would
just
like
gonna
to from Mexico. So I would really like to take a walk through there. There are a lot of up and coming factories out of Mexico that have been there a long time, but these factories and manufacturers do not have websites. So it's
say,
almost like you have to go to Mexico to tour and locate these factories unless you have
finally.
connections in Mexico to do so for you. So I like that there are neighbors, we're connected, our countries, and the cost is just as good as China, and the shipping would be a lot less. So I'm really, really interested in going through Source Direct and trying to find some suppliers out of Mexico.
I am right there with you. I am 100% there. I did a whole bunch of research this week on manufacturers in Mexico, so I'll catch up with you about that
Mhm.
later. The other spot that I may or may not go to, we'll see how our feet are. It's not going to be a super long one, but they have an entire section on CBD and like gas station stuff. So if you're needing pipes, bongs, wrappers, lighters, small things like toilet paper and things, when you go into the gas station, you see all the little things for sale. I want to spend a little bit more time there. CBD and hemp has become a huge, huge market. And while I don't want to sell necessarily those products, the the surrounding items for those items, for
There's
smoking
opportunity
or
there.
medicinal,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah,
So
think
that
of
is,
the
that
gas
is something.
station suppliers, they are selling the gas stations, the candy bars, the chips, so some of these food items, and so you have to learn to think outside of the box, right? And I like the idea of that. Also, I had went to a private label show here in Las Vegas, and most of the vendors there were CBD companies. I was hoping it was going to be an array of a lot of different types of vendors, but it was mostly all CBD. But one of the companies, and I thought it was so cool, and this was probably 2 years ago. Maybe it wasn't because that was COVID. I don't remember, but it wasn't too, it was within those years. They were a CBD coffee company. And I thought, well, that's really unique and cool. And so they had ground coffee, they had the coffee pods that had the CBD in it, and they would private label too. And I thought, this is a really interesting thing. But at the time, there was still a lot of stricter regulations on Amazon concerning selling products with CBD. So I knew it wouldn't be a good fit for me.
There
But
still
now,
is. CBD is a naughty not word. You cannot list with
yeah,
CBD, but you can list with hemp. So
yes. Yeah.
weird.
And or if you want to do your own website, people do Shopify stores or so I thought that was, so sometimes there can be really cool finds when you go on those floors.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
A lot more
It
giveaways on the CBD floor.
There
Lots of
is,
giveaways.
and
That's where
there's a
we
lot.
get the bags. Yeah, the goodie bags.
Yeah, a lot of goodie bags, a lot of interesting stuff there. So it's fun to go hang out, see what's going on. What are the other floors? The clothing and accessory section.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun to go look at as well. If you are looking to get, like, I don't do a whole lot, the wholesale clothing, a lot of it is like, say, pashminas. And while a basic pashmina might not be something that you're interested in, again, if you're looking to pair it up or maybe Q4 winter bundles or whatnot, having a good supplier for mittens and hats and pashminas might be a good contact to have in your list.
And I'm just letting you know that it's time for you to be wrapping it up because you have to go to breakfast.
I do. We're going to, if anybody lives in Vegas, we're going to Pegs, and it is awesome. It's up in over by Summerlin area. Pegs Diner. It's
We went to
delicious.
Lou's Diner 2 days ago.
I don't know, Lou.
Lou's Diner. It's been here since the 50s. It's actually still there and still standing.
Ah, nice, nice. So I'm super excited. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet. I'm not quite hungry, but I'm sure as soon as I hit the smells of the restaurant, I will be starving. I can't go, but really excited to see the gems you all share with us. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. We will share with you. We're going to be posting to Online Selling with Tina, right? That's for
Yeah,
the
I
bundles
will. But of
group.
course, like some of the better vendors and things that I find, I will keep those exclusive ones in our bundles group, of course.
Yes. So we will be sharing both on that one and then in the bundles course, of course.
Of course, of course.
And the link to ASD is down below. The link to our bundle course is down below. It's a one-time fee. I get that question. like how often? It's a one-time fee. We're not anyhow, I'm not going to spiel about that because I do need to go, but I'm so excited. And then I'll message you later because I don't know if we're doing anything tomorrow. We'll see how the weather is.
It's supposed to be yuck.
Well, we can do stuff inside.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I gotta see. I'm sure my mom has chores for me too, but I'll message you later.
Your mom has chores. Chores.
Have a great day, Mikey, Nate, Nicole, Nick, whoever else
Reno,
is
Heather,
Heather.
all the peoples. And for those of you that are going to be here, we look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Yes, and for those that can't make it, we will put out as much content as humanly possible and see how much we can get out for you. Okay.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Bye.